All right, everybody. Welcome to an atheist response to a Christian. I am the atheist in this scenario, and today I'm going to be responding to a video from the channel God TV Radio, hosted by one Mr. Brett Keane. I will put the links to his channel and to the video in question in case anybody wants to check it out for themselves. I just want to give the point of view from an atheist to some of the comments and questions he threw out in the video. This is not a debate. I'm not trying to, like, give a gotcha moment. I did reach out to Mr. Brett about a couple weeks ago and said, hey, let's chat. And he said, hey, come on in. I went on to one of his shows, and it was cool, but there's too many people when you do that. And maybe this way we can just have a quick back and forth through some of these videos. And my hope is that through this we can help other people who might be on the fence or just looking for some light in the darkness, if you will. So here we go with an atheist response to a Christian.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio.
Hello, Mr. Brett.
You know, there used to be a time where I believed in evolution. I believed that we evolved from species to species. I used to believe that I came from a rodent and then turned into a primate, and then voila, after tons and tons of years go by, here I am. I used to believe...
Okay. Common misconception. Somebody like myself that's an atheist, and many Christians we find do believe in evolution, to where no, the pond scum to human is a misnomer, if you will, where something became, we became part of something else. Like it wasn't a quick process. Saying it took a long time is exactly what happens. We see today that all the animals in the animal kingdom, humans, insects alike, all procreate somehow, and over time changes happen. But I don't think evolution has a direct basis to the question of atheism, whether there is a God or not. But let's continue.
For a long time, I was a nihilistic atheist. I was someone who didn't see any value in the universe. I didn't see any value in my life. I didn't see any intrinsic value in people around me. I just felt like we were a bunch of bundled up chemistry that just happened to put itself together.
Okay. Well, I think we can kind of all agree we are, chemicals and reactions with those chemicals that make up what a human is and what we go through. I think putting any adjective in front of atheist is misleading almost. Like if I were to say that person is a racist Christian. Well, the two mean something, but together don't have an effect. It's just two things that happen to be. I believe you, like many people, have trouble sometimes finding worth in things and themselves, and it's a horrible thing. But that just means you were a nihilist, and at the time you happen to be an atheist. You could be a nihilist Christian, so the atheism is not there to help in that way. But let's move on.
And here we are. And that was it. I didn't see myself as nothing more than smaller than that of a speck whenever it came to the comparison of the universe.
In the grand scheme of the universe, we are specks.
I didn't believe that there was any kind of God, anything that was greater than ourselves out there. And I think a lot of changes happened for me, not because I listened to a bunch of religious people, not because I was reading the Bible repeatedly trying to find things to debunk and refute Christians over. I think the major thing that happened for me was whenever I met my wife.
Let's put a pause right there. I think you're compiling too many things here. If you're having a problem with self-worth or the worth of anything in the grand scheme, you know, we are all here on this planet. We are born and we pass away, and in that meantime we can start a family. You don't have to start a family if you want to be an adventurer, but that's the key. It's what we make of it. I see no difference between an atheist and someone who's religious, but you can have the same interests. You can love movies and music and maybe have the same political views. The God thing is just the question we all answer for ourselves. Do you believe it or not? And if you do, what steps are you going to take to hold on to that? I can tell you that I keep 2 Bibles and a handheld Bible next to my bed, and when I watch videos, if I want to look something up, I do. And I try to get to the bottom of it, because you're saying there's a God, and the Christian God in general, you have to do certain things to make sure you don't end up in a bad place when you pass away. So you're telling me there is something after death, and you know how to embrace it, and you're saying the Bible tells you how to do it, etc., and Jesus is the way. I will always come to the point to say, none of us have a time machine. We cannot go back in time to see what happened, when, where. But I like to take what we all have is the human experience. Okay? We all go to sleep and wake up, maybe go to work, maybe be a house parent, but whatever the case is, God should be the external, right? Like, if you go to work, or you pick up your kids, or you go camping, the God thing doesn't affect that. You may pray that everybody stays safe and such, but it's so external that I think looking at it internally, or saying what I am inside has to be the same as what I believe on the outside, in a way. I think you're compiling too much together, and it's so much more simpler than that. So let's move on.
And whenever I go through a depression phase, it's pretty miserable. It's basically like you're fighting internally with demons. You're trying to find reasons why you should even wake up in the morning, why you should even live, why you should exist. And nihilistic atheism was not helping me in any kind of way. Well,
that's rough, and you're right. You can call it demons, you can call it just depression. A lot of us can't handle it, and there are ways to get help now, way more than ever. You and I being in the same age bracket, there wasn't much help when we were growing up. Like, I've seen psychiatrists in the 90s, and it was a hard process, and without insurance, etc. But now there's more things than ever. But there's no reason to look to atheism for anything. Like, it only, as they say, answers that question where it's like, do you believe in God? Okay, next question. It shouldn't affect how you live. I've never been against someone putting religion as that hole in the heart to help them with where do we come from, where are we going, is this it? Those rough questions. I've never tried to deconvert anybody, because why? Like, if nobody's being hurt, fine. And I think that's how it is with all religion, right? If somebody's doing something wrong with children, we want to know and get that down. But don't say you can't look for atheism for help, or it's not going to help or answer anything.
Well, what ends up happening is I take a long walk. I'm feeling suicidal. I'm feeling like, this is the end for me. And even though I was a non-believer, I decided what could it hurt for me to do a little prayer. So I said something to the effect of, Dear God, if you're listening, whoever you are, whether you're Allah, whether you're Yahweh, whether you're Jesus Christ, any one of the many gods that are spoken about out there, please give me something in my life. Besides dealing with depression, I was also dealing with miserable loneliness.
Before we move on, I'm sorry you or anybody ever has to feel that way. We shouldn't have to feel that way. And I hope you did or can or do speak to somebody, because I know what it's like to think the worst answer in Roblox, if you will, Like, we don't need to keep saying it. But again, everybody I've met that's had that problem, most were religious and were very religious, but didn't seem to help them, which to me shows, like, we are humans, that's what we are. We are here, and you're saying a God created us, fine. Your proof is that through history, one God may have sent his son in the flesh and all that. We get the story. It's so, like, we get it. But you shouldn't think that's going to directly affect your life